I did want to come back to a story we've been following.
I loved your interview. Can I just say?
Yeah, no, let's. You want to talk about the interview?
Nothing about being reverential, my friend. Go ahead.
Let's move ahead. I want to talk about Campbell's this morning because it is a name, of course, we've talked a lot about here.
The stock's been moving up.
The stock's been moving up. Continued, of course, back and forth between Dan Loeb, who previously had been seeking to oust the entire board of Campbell's, as we pointed out many times. The math on that, well, simply put, pretty much impossible, given the entire family more or less voting against him. This morning, I can tell you, he has now reduced his ask significantly from what had been an entire board slate to a slate of what will be 5 directors. 5 directors is where he's now focused. Again, the math is still very difficult. And there you get a sense. See how we kind of blacked out some people? Well, we didn't really.
No. Did he go with the strawberry? Who's he got on? Who's he want to put on? Tell me.
Yeah.
Who's he got? Who's this guy?
He's going after, by the way, Bennett Durance, Randall Larimore, Mary Alice Durance Malone, Nick Schreiber, and Les
after the family.
Vinny.
Good luck to you, partner.
Yeah, he's going after them. Sarah Hofstetter, Muna Baslam, Bazamo St. John, Kurt Schmidt, and William Toller. So the people in color.
He's better chance getting
people in color. See how we black and whited the other? People in color are the ones he's still with. Listen, how's it going to work here? What is he really hoping for? ISS is going to rule. The November 29th meeting is not far away now, of course. ISS is going to probably come out fairly soon. They say that they've spoken to a lot of the investors, and this is sort of where they have been guided by the investor base of Campbell. The hope, Jim, I think, of course, is to have a serious level of engagement, that Campbell feels that its own investors want some presence from Mr. Loeb's nominees on the board, and that maybe you do end up with 2 or 3 of those nominees. If you go to a vote, the math is still extraordinarily tough.
But they have to do this. This company is the most poorly managed, maybe the most poorly managed in the S&P 500. And Dan Loeb's people would improve. I'm not kidding. I mean, these guys set the benchmark for bad. And Dan Loeb can really help. They should like begging Dan Loeb, like, please come on our board. Yeah, they should put honestly, I mean, look, what have they invented in the last 30 years besides the cuckoo clock? V8? V8 wave?
I'm reminded of David and Icahn going at it over the activist model on Twitter yesterday.
Yeah, we went at it a little bit.
You
Listen,
did?
I pointed out his numbers that came out in an IEP filing.
Oh, yeah, everyone's buzzing about that.
6.1% annualized from his investment funds. Rightly so, Mr. Icahn pointed out, hey, if you bought IEP, where I also make a lot of investments, and buy companies and sell companies, my returns are far greater than the S&P over the last 14 years. By the way, I mean, I think we need Carl Icahn. I'm glad we've had him all these years, but it is, Carl, to your point, interesting to note that after all those battles, the annualized returns roughly equal to, actually below a bit, the S&P when you include dividends for that index. Here, Mr. Loeb took on a fight that very few others would have been willing to engage in. There's no doubt about that. I think it is helpful to the brand. It builds his brand. That is not unhelpful in terms of raising money and continuing to remind people he is an activist. Where this ends up, Jim, is perhaps dependent on comments like the ones you just made and feelings of shareholders who may share your sentiments and say you need to have some of these people on that board to effectuate change.
Well, the last great thing they did was be an object of Andy Warhol. I mean, honestly, these guys, I mean, even the Bolthouse acquisition, David, that snack acquisition. I mean, what was the next bid? What was the cover bid?
It was a lot lower.
This company is so in need of Loeb.
Snyder's Lance is the one. Yeah.
They need Loeb. They need something. You know what they really need? People to buy their product.
Well, right. Well, we'll see what the earnings look like. We're getting those soon.
I mean, a can of soup has not changed. I mean, they have like all these permutations. But there's fresh soup in the supermarket, and then there's Campbell's right next to it. I'd rather buy those bouillon cubes. You can put them in your backpack.
It's gotten a lot easier to buy freshly made soup.
And I feel bad for them. It's an icon. I like Pepperidge Farm. You like the goldfish?
I eat those goldfish all the time.
Goldfish
I still go here to Dwayne Reed and buy them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Super for you.
Love goldfish.